All right, so you're trying to land your first data job, and literally everyone is telling you the same thing. You gotta learn SQL. But the second you start looking, you're just drowning in a sea of courses and tutorials, and it's impossible to know where to even begin. Well, let's cut through all that noise and build a real plan that actually works.
Because here's the thing, SQL itself isn't actually that hard. The real problem, and the reason so many bright people bomb their data interviews, has nothing to do with the language. It's all about how they learned it. They learn by watching, not by doing, and that just falls apart under pressure.
So first things first, let's talk about the big trap that almost everyone falls into when they're starting out.
You know the drill, right? You binge watch a bunch of video tutorials. You code along. You breeze through a few of those easy-peasy exercises. And you start to feel pretty good, like, hey, I've got this. But what you've really built is a false sense of security that completely crumbles the second an interviewer throws a real-world problem at you.
Okay, but let's address the elephant in the room. You're probably thinking, with ChatGPT and all this AI stuff, do I even need to learn SQL? Can I just have a robot write it for me? It's a totally fair question.
Well, the short answer is no. Not even close. Not for serious data work anyway. See, an AI is great at helping you with syntax, kind of like a spell checker for your code. But what it can't do is understand the context of the business, figure out why the documentation is 10 years old, or handle all the weird, messy edge cases that pop up in every single real-world dataset. That's where you, the human analyst, come in.
And look, the science is pretty clear on this one. When you learn passively, just watching somebody else do it, you retain maybe 20% of the information. But when you learn actively, when you get your hands dirty and actually solve problems yourself, that number skyrockets to over 80%. So the goal isn't to watch more, it's to do more.
All right, enough about the problem. Let's talk solutions. I'm going to lay out a clear three-phase roadmap that'll take you from knowing absolutely nothing to being totally job ready. We're going to break this down into three simple, manageable chunks. First up, we'll build a rock-solid foundation with the fundamentals. Then we'll layer on the intermediate skills you need to solve trickier problems. And finally, we'll get into the advanced stuff that's really going to make you stand out from the crowd. Okay, phase one. This is your foundation, your absolute bread and butter. We're talking about things like select, from, and where to pull and filter your data. Then you have joins, which are essential for connecting the dots between different tables. Think linking customers to their orders. And finally, group by, which lets you start calculating aggregates like total sales per region. Honestly, if you master just this stuff, you've already covered about 60% of what you'll do day to day. Now, once that foundation is feeling solid, it's time for phase two. This is where your queries start to get a lot more powerful. You'll learn about subqueries and their way more readable cousins, CTEs, which are basically just tools to break big, scary problems into small, manageable steps. Then you've got case statements for adding if-then logic right into your query, and of course, date functions, which are critical for analyzing anything over time.
And finally, phase three. These are what I call the interview killers, the concepts that separate a good candidate from a great one. And if there is one topic to focus on here, it's window functions. Seriously, these are the secret sauce for calculating things like running totals, moving averages, or ranking items within categories. Mastering these is pretty much the ticket to getting hired for a serious data role.
Okay, so you know what you need to learn. Great, but that's only half the battle. To build real fluency, the kind you need in an interview, you have to practice. So let's build a real, concrete plan for that.
Here's a schedule that you can just pick up and run with. For the first 2 weeks, it's all about the fundamentals. Just aim for 3 to 5 problems a day. The goal here is not speed, it's just understanding. Then, in weeks 3 and 4, you move to intermediate stuff and start timing yourself, just to add a little bit of pressure. For weeks 5 and 6, you really zero in on those hard advanced problems, especially window functions. After that, it's all interview prep, using platforms that mimic the real thing.
But listen, just grinding out hundreds of problems isn't the smartest way to learn. You need a method, a system for squeezing every last drop of knowledge out of each problem. So let me walk you through a 5-step process for that.
This is so important. Step 1, try to solve it yourself for at least 5 to 10 minutes with absolutely no help. If you're stuck, step 2 is to use a single hint, not the full answer. Step 3, always review the official solution, even if you got it right. You might learn a more efficient way to do it. Step 4, and this is crucial, put the solution away and rewrite the code from memory. And finally, step 5, the true test. Explain how the code works line by line out loud. If you can teach it, you know it.
And hey, if you really want to level up, here's a little extra credit for you. Once you've solved a problem, change one of the requirements just slightly, and then try to solve your new version of the problem. This is huge because it forces your brain to adapt the logic instead of just memorizing a pattern.
So we've talked a lot about the code, right? But being a great data analyst isn't about being a great coder. It's about being a great thinker.
Imagine your boss comes over and asks for something that sounds super simple, like, hey, can you pull our top 10 customers by revenue? A rookie analyst just dives in and starts coding, but a pro analyst stops and asks questions first. Questions like, what do we mean by revenue? Gross or net? Over what time period? Should we include returns? See, writing the SQL is often the easy part. Defining the problem is the real job.
Because here's the dirty little secret. Tutorial data is perfect and clean, but real-world data, oh, it is a mess. You're going to find duplicate entries, null values that mean 3 different things, the same customer named 5 different ways, and timestamps from all over the world. Your job isn't just to query data, it's to make sense of the chaos.
Look, I know this sounds like a lot, but I promise you, putting in the effort to learn SQL the right way is one of the single best investments you could make in your career. It's the language of data, and mastering it opens up so many doors.
So there you have it. You know the traps to avoid, you have the 3-phase roadmap, and you have a method for how to practice effectively. The entire game plan is right here in front of you. So the only question left is, what problem are you going to solve first?